Today, we are talking about 10 things you have to do to shine during a job interview. And I mean it. You will find, tips that are interesting, you may know about, and other things I think you didn't know about. Because again, it is from my HR experience and my personal experience. So let's dive in right now and tell me at the end of this video what you think about this. So the very first thing you have to do during a job interview is to show you master the role. And on top of that, you want this job. You are made for this role. I'm gonna give you an example. If you're applying for a community manager and you need to be a professional of Photoshop, show that you know it. You read, the job offer. You don't know it by heart, but more or less you have it in mind. And you master all of the softwares and the hardwares of the job. Second thing to do is to show you are experienced. There is no problem if you never did the job before, if you never were a community manager or something, no problem. But show you have personal experiences, or you worked for, non-profit organizations and you learned these skills. This is super important to show that your hobbies, your whatever activities, or your job, even better, taught you to be experienced at this position. Third thing, this is about the company. You have to show you want to join the company a lot and you did some research about it. This is the reason why, you want to join it, because you are aware of the brand's DNA, about the story of the company. Now, you don't need to know it by heart 100%, otherwise, if the person in front of you wants you to know everything about the company, I think it's a red flag. It shows this person might be, a toxic HR, a toxic, manager, but overall, you have to show you know the basics of the company. You can also say that, well, I really love this industry in particular. I love the boating industry because, I don't know, my granddad did that in the 60s, in the 50s, I don't know. You have to show you are linked to the industry if you can. Now, just note that some industries are really, really boring and you cannot do that all the time. But if you can do it, please do it. It will show you're passionate, and do it with passion. Be dynamic at this moment. Next, I want you to show you will be available at the right time. So if you have to start now, please show you will be available now. And this is why you have to choose your job offers carefully. Do not go for job offers that say you have to start tomorrow if tomorrow you are, I don't know, in another countries, in China, and you have to work in the USA. Do not do that. Be available. Now, you can sometimes be, 1 week late to start a job and they might consider it if you are the perfect profile for it, but you have to make sure you took notes of the starting date and you are ready to start. Then fifth, you have to show that you are mobile at the job position, at the workplace, basically. If this is full remote, you have to show you love full remote. This is very important because today managers are really, scared of giving you a remote position if you don't show this is what you like. And this is, of course, the same for on-site offers. If you have to work in Moscow, if you have to work in Boston, Paris, or whatever, please show you can do it. Sometimes you will have to say, well, I live there, well, my aunt lives there, or whatever, but please show you can do it and you have no problem with it. As a matter of fact, you would love to work in Moscow, Paris, or Boston, but show it. Show it. This is so important because this little detail can actually set you apart from, someone who is not mobile to this place. Then you're gonna have to show your qualities. Now, I don't want you to be showing off too much. This is never something good to do. But if the person in front of you asks you, what are your qualities? How would you define you? Do it and use original qualities. I'm not, talking about too original qualities, but things that other people may not think about. I don't know, the term creative is not so often used, The term, Bold, ambitious is not really often used as well. So think about things that really define you and set you apart from other people, and use at least 3 adjectives, because you can really use it to sell yourself. So imagine if you used, I don't know, I'm organized and I arrived on time at work. This is not enough to set you apart from, I'm creative, I'm really organized, I'm very, very proactive, and I love to work in groups. I don't know, with my teammates. You have to show you are there, you are smiling, you are present, So show all of your qualities, even if your interviewer doesn't ask you what are your qualities. You have to show, well, actually, I think I could be a really, really good fit for this position because da 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 da. Show it. One time, but show it. Next, I want you to show you have questions. So at the end of the interview, most of the time they ask you, do you have a few questions for us? Do you have, interrogations we didn't answer to during this interview? Show you have some if you have questions, because I see so many advices out there saying, well, ask many questions, but they have to be relevant, otherwise it looks fake. So be prepared a little bit. Just think about good questions you could ask, but this is something easy you can do, in the transports before going there. You can think about it very quickly before sleeping, the night before. But you need to have those questions to show you are interested. Then I want you to show you can be recommended by your former bosses, colleagues, managers, anyone. Have a list at least in your head, but it's better to have it, write it down, just 2 or 3 persons. This is completely enough. And you can say you will be recommended by them. If they call them, they will have a good feedback, hopefully. So this is important, again, to be really professional during all of your job missions, so that the day you need that, you will have these persons to call if needed. This way, they will know that technically speaking and on a human level, you are a gem. And last but not least, we finish with my favorite advice. This is really a gold advice, so please take notes. I want you to show them you are wanted. And how to do that? Well, you can either talk about it during the interview, just one time, or at the end of the interview when sometimes they ask you, do you have other processes at the moment? Well, you will have to say yes. Of course you have to say yes. And if you had, I don't know, let's say 10 job interviews during the month, talk about them. If it's really, really old, don't talk about it. You don't have to lie, of course, but please talk about the recent processes you have. Because so many untrained people think that currently I just have, 2 job interviews going on. So I'm going to say, yes, maybe I have 2 job interviews. This is not enough. You have to talk about all of the job interviews you had recently. Even if the process are gone, because you decided to quit the process, because actually it is not, located at the right position for you, I don't know. But I want you to think about all of these opportunities you had recently. This is not lying. If they ask you, really precise questions, you have to be honest. You have to say the truth. But to sell yourself, you have to sell yourself like a product, like a service, and even more because you're a human, a full human with processes, with emotions, with wants and needs. So I really, really want you to talk about all of the processes going on during the month or the recent weeks. So I want you to tell me what you think and see you very soon for other advices.